they're fighting for their very life with thousands of rockets falling on them 24 hours a day practically. And during that time in July, Obama calls for an immediate, unconditional ceasefire that will leave Hamas rockets and attack plans intact. Obamacare, they empower the government bent on destroying Israel. Obamacare offer Hamas $47 million to rebuild their terror network to further destroy Israel. You wonder why we have Ebola entering into America, we have beheadings entering into America, we have a southern border with unspeakable things crossing our southern border. You cannot violate Genesis 12:3 and get away with it. You cannot. You cannot. Now, Benjamin Netanyahu is without words here, but the expression probably says it all. He says this is lunacy diplomacy. And it is lunacy diplomacy. He says, I'll shake his hand, but I'm not going to smile about it. Every developed nation in the world is financing Gaza. And how are they taking those nickels and dimes? All they're doing is turning them into weaponry to obliterate Israel. Every developed nation in the world, and a few undeveloped, involved in sending aid to terrorists in Gaza. Of course, Israel shouldn't have given up Gaza in 2005, but that came about because of the pressure of George W. Bush. Ynet News says this administration is closer today to Qatar and the Muslim Brotherhood or to Iran, which encouraged terror, than to Israel. This is an astonishing blindness and abandonment of the West's leadership and a cultural decline of an inconceivable magnitude. We have Obama and ISIS, or as he calls it, ISIL. Why does Barack Obama call it ISIL? Because he's referring to the Levant. The Levant would include all of Israel and Jerusalem. That is the ultimate goal, is the obliteration, another Holocaust, the annihilation of Israel. That's why he's using the term ISIL instead of ISIS. Now, we don't really have to worry about Israel. I mean, I'm very concerned about America. The reason we don't have to worry about Israel is because of Jeremiah 31:31. And God says there, as long as the fixed order of the universe remains, I will stand with my people Israel. Nothing's going to happen to them. It doesn't matter what pharaohs do, what generals, kings, Führers, mullahs, ayatollahs, presidents of the United States and other countries, doesn't matter. And after all, have you ever seen a Hittite walking around? Have you ever seen a Jebusite? Have you ever seen a Canaanite? No. They vanish off the face of the earth. Is America going to vanish off the face of the earth? Well, it may not vanish, but it may blend into a one-world system. We may lose our sovereignty and go into the Antichrist kingdom sooner than we thought because of what's happening thanks to this administration. It's indeed tragic, it's indeed deplorable, but it's fulfilling. Scripture is fulfilling prophecy. Do you think we could go into the end of the end times with America strong and with Israel strong? No nation can be strong. The whole world has to be weakened so that a power broker can move in and say, I'm going to make the world good again. I'm going to pick up all the pieces. And then there are all these verses that warn. Obviously, I've emphasized the one, Genesis 12:3. We have Joel 3. God will judge the nations for their treatment of my people and for dividing up my land. And that is the one thing that picture after picture I've showed you shows the division of God's land. Land for peace, land for peace, land for peace, land for peace. 2 Chronicles 20:29, and the fear of God was upon all the kingdoms of those countries when they heard that the Lord fought against the enemies of Israel. God fights against those who are enemies of Israel. Right now, America is an enemy of Israel. Right now, as we speak. That doesn't mean we are. We certainly aren't. And there's certainly the remnant, one of them in our front row, Michelle Bachmann, who's standing strong for Israel. But unfortunately, we need more. It will come about in that day that I will make Jerusalem a heavy stone for all the people. All who lift it will be severely injured, and all the nations of the earth will be gathered against it. And that's the important verse. All nations. It's not all nations except a huge Western power someday will stand with Israel, but all other nations, no, all nations will turn. Barack Obama had to turn to continue to fulfill Scripture. Now, does that mean somebody could be elected in 2016 and turn it all around? Well, of course. Or are we so far late in this plan of God that that's not likely to happen? Anything's possible, and with prayer, all things are possible. But as we speak, as this abuse continues and gets literally worse by the day, how can we be anything but a judged nation? And we are under judgment. Here's what's equally important, is that you remain salt and light. And I personally think, if we don't look up, we can't look around. We can't. We've got to be looking up, or it's going to become too bleak. Because we're so far into the last days. We're so far along. So you've been born for such a time as this. You are here on assignment. I keep saying that. You are here on assignment. You all have a different assignment. One of those assignments is to go out and tell the truth. Go out and tell the truth of some of the things you learn wherever it is, here or any other place. God remains in control. He has a timetable. I believe that timetable is on overdrive. I believe it's speeding up. But I believe that He is coming so soon that we need not leave here today discouraged based on some of the things you've heard me share here, because that's not my intent. My intent is not to send you out discouraged, even though facts on the ground are a little on the discouraging side. I believe we can still make a difference. I believe we can still make a difference with our friends, with our families, by telling some of the inconvenient truth. And so I'm just going to close with what I often like to close with on the radio, that you would look back and thank Him, you will look around, serve Him, you will look ahead and trust Him, you look up and expect Him. He is coming again, He's coming again, He's coming again.